Join the Wide Whale team May 29th at 3 p.m. Eastern for part 2 of our 3-part virtual event series, Voice of the Resident. For part 2, we will look specifically at residency. Using AI topic analysis, we've analyzed the free text of 400,000 Google reviews from residents of hundreds of top multifamily groups, including the NMHC Top 50, to identify how often 50 key topics are mentioned by residents. By filtering for and analyzing the topics by life cycle stage, we can isolate which topics are more influential during residency, versus tour, or renewal. Go to widewhale.com/data to sign up or find it in the revised community. That's widewhale.com/data.
Let's stick with the theme of coaching this week in the Multifamily Collective episodes. This week I want to talk about, or today rather, I want to talk about how your past successes can become impediments to your future success or your future growth. And I want to go back to the mid-'80s. In the mid-'80s, I was playing basketball in junior high. It was the 8th or the 9th grade. And I recall going into a game where I scored like 21 or 22 points. I had a bunch of rebounds. I shot very well from the free throw line, and I got full of myself. I thought, wow, I finally figured this basketball thing out. I scored over 20 points. We beat one of our chief rivals in our little market. I call it a market in our little town. And I thought, wow, I'm just the best player ever, right? I got really, really full of myself, and ego took over. The very next time we played that particular team, I thought, wow, I'm just going to have a repeat of the success that I had in this last game. I mean, there's no doubt, right? I scored all these points in the last game. I got all these rebounds. I'm going to do the very same thing in this game. I was almost shut out, almost scoreless. I don't recall what I scored in that game, but I do remember that it was not a very good performance. And I remember my coach taking me aside and telling me that I had tried to force the game, that I had taken some successes from the past and I tried to force the game in a way that was just not healthy or not beneficial. So my encouragement to you today, using that story as a backdrop, is that recognize that your past successes, they don't mean anything toward the future. Now, you built a skill, you did some repetition, you were successful with your outcome, but the variables the next time you get in the game or the next time you face a situation, even if it's something similar, are different. The variables are different. So you might have this underlying fundamental skill set that will serve you well when you show up for this thing, but don't rest on the idea that you were successful in the past as a predicate for being successful this time around. You have to take those variables, you have to consider them, you have to understand what the new context is, and you have to operate in that environment in order to achieve successful outcomes. So, second thing I want you to take away is that you always have to improve. It's just a continuous improvement of mindset, of skill set, of the way you show up in the world. Every single situation that you show up to in your world of business, in your world of personal life, is an opportunity to do a rep in the way of continuous improvement. And your past will not necessarily predict your future. It might give you sort of a guidepost, but it's not going to ensure that you're going to be successful. So you just have to be mindful of the fact that you're doing a rep, you're continuously improving, you're showing up with full self, full time, don't mail it in. The third thing I want you to take away is go out and actively seek new challenges. So if you're right on the heels of a big win, go into another circumstance where you can work on the same skill set and enjoy another win, a different win, something that sharpened your skill a little bit or sharpened a subset of that skill a little bit. But don't just assume, even though you're taking on this new challenge, that you're going to win because you won in the past. Rather, take the mindset that you're going to learn. You're going to be able to add something to that skill set. You're going to be able to add something to your character development. So take all of that away and break free from this sort of shackle of thinking that just because you've been successful in the past, you're going to be successful in the future. Rather, think about it as you are becoming better and better and better at the skill set, better and better and better at the character development and being a better human. Take care. We'll talk to you again soon.
Join the Wide Whale team May 29th at 3 p.m. Eastern for part 2 of our 3-part virtual event series, Voice of the resident. For part 2, we will look specifically at residency. Using AI topic analysis, we've analyzed the free text of 400,000 Google reviews from residents of hundreds of top multifamily groups, including the NMHC Top 50, to identify how often 50 key topics are mentioned by residents. By filtering for and analyzing the topics by life cycle stage, we can isolate which topics are more influential during residency, versus tour, or renewal. Go to widewhale.com/data to sign up or find it in the revised community. That's widewhale.com/data.